All right, good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred. More likely than not, you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are being recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney here in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, you can step forward to the podium. Susan Lupo. Morning, Susan. What's your date of birth?
My date of birth is August 15th, 1985.
Susan, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
No, sir.
Okay. State any history.
No criminal history, Judge.
Susan, I have an address for you on Malvern Street. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir, that is.
How long have you been there?
I've lived there for about 7 years.
All right. Are you working these days?
No, sir, I'm on disability.
And were you living with Mr. Jericho?
Yes, sir, it's my husband.
Susan, I'm going to set your bond at $50. However, a condition of the bond is that while the charge is pending, you can't have any contact with Mr. Jericho. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. Don't contact him through social media. Don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact with him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held in the jail without bond until these charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charge against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charge. He may tell them he does not want to pursue this, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. Pardon me. So unless that person or the judge on your case or tell you that the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you would get new charges for violating the injunction. When you get out, you can go by to the Malvern Street address one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll arrange a time to meet you there to get your things. I'll have you back in court on March 24th, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Shawnee Reed. Morning, Miss Reed,
Yes,
what's
sir.
your date of birth?
11/17/1919.
All right, Miss Reed, I got 3 warrants for you. I got one signed by Judge Bell, one signed by me, and another one signed by Judge Bell. They're all for burglary of a structure. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD in all three. State any history.
Yes, Judge. She has, in Pasco County, looks like 2 open burglaries. Looks like 7 open burglaries. Grand theft, another open burglary in Pasco. 2 more open burglaries in Pasco. Another grand larceny, open in Pasco.
Shawnee, you have an address for you on Imperial Point in Nicholasville, Kentucky. Is that your address?
No, it is 7441 San Moritz, Port Richey,
Okay. How long you been in Port Richey?
for a month, and I've been in here I've been in Pasco for 50 days,
Okay.
so I'm not really sure.
Okay. Are you working at all?
I do have a full-time job at Town and Country.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna set the bond on each of these at $2,500. That's a total of $7,500. They're all coming back on the 25th of March.
Your Honor, we've got a date of March 11th.
March 11th. They're all coming back March 11th. Still in courtroom H.
We have a C docket with Marin Jr.
Yep, that'll do it. All right, so they're all coming back on the 11th, Shawnee. If you get out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you before court, all right?
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Sorry.
Okay. Sarah Roberts? Morning, Sarah. What's your date of birth?
9487.
Sarah, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He thinks you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges: possession of controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. Sarah, did you have a lawyer on those cases?
I'm actually appointed Sharkey as my PD.
Okay. We'll continue the appointment of the public defender. Judge Toner set your bonds at $5,000, $1,000, and $500 respectively. I can't change those. That's a total of $6,500. You got a date for them, Kyle?
Yes, Your Honor. We've got March 6th at 1:30.
They're going to have you back March 6th, Sarah. If you're able to get out, you should go see Mr. Sharkey. If you can't get out, he'll come see you at the jail before you go to court, all right?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Corrine Tozy? Morning, Miss Tozy. What's your date of birth?
September 27th, 1979.
I've got 2 charges today. I've got a battery and a criminal mischief. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
In Pennsylvania, 2002 retail theft, 2015 child endangerment, and 2016 hindering prosecution.
And Corrine, I have an address for you on Wabash Trail. Is that where you live?
Correct.
Let's see. And your daughter lived there too?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
6 years. My daughter lives off and on with me and my parents.
Okay. Was she living there yesterday?
She was visiting at my place yesterday.
Wow. Was she living there yesterday? I don't
No,
care whose
no.
place it is.
No.
Was she living there?
No.
Okay. Where does she live?
She lives at 14895 Rialto in Brooksville.
Are you working at all right now?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a server.
Where do you do that?
I work at Wellington.
Okay. Set your bond at $500 on each charge. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with your daughter while the charge is pending. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier? Did you hear me explain no contact
Yes.
earlier? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Also have to hold you till 4 p.m. So she wants to serve you with an injunction. We know where to find you. We'll have you back in court on the 24th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender once you get out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Frederick Baumgartner. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/10/71.
Frederick, I have 3 charges: possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting without. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
In 23, he's got a felony petty theft, 2 or more priors, defrauding a pawnbroker 2017, dealer stolen property 2017, grand theft, 2 of those 2017, another defrauding a pawnbroker and dealer stolen property in 2017, 2014 duelist, tampering with electronic service equipment, 2 of those, and then petty theft also in 2014. It's got older history, Your Honor. FTA's paraphernalia.
Fred, I've got an address for you on Brook Ridge Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
About 15 years.
You working these days?
I'm sorry?
Are you working? Do you have a job?
Yes, yes.
What do you do?
Tile, flooring, laminate flooring.
On the controlled substance, I'll set the bond at $2,000, $1,000 on the 2 misdemeanors. It's a total of $4,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 25th of March. Very important that you reach out to the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Robert Bates. Morning, Robert. What's your date of birth?
8191.
All right, Robert, you're here on 2 writs of bodily attachment. That means that, out of Pasco County, that a child support hearing officer down there and a circuit judge determined that you owe child support. They set cash purges of $800 and $600 respectively for a total of $1,400. I can't change those. If you were able to come up with that money, you could get out of jail here and then go see the folks at Child Support Enforcement. If you can't come up with that money, I will give Pasco 5 days to come and pick you up. The judge in Pasco can lower those amounts so that you can get out of jail. Never takes 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they bring you back to see me, and I find out what the holdup is, all right?
Do I see a first appearance judge over in Pasco? Do I go there?
Yep, and he can change those numbers.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Jordani Caminas Pastano. Morning, sir. Date of birth?
Morning.
What's your date of birth?
01/21/1884.
Okay. You've got here today 2 warrants signed by Judge Toner. In each case, he thinks you failed to appear in court on a grand theft and a burglary. Jordani, do you have a lawyer representing you on these cases?
No.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender. Kyle, what's the date we're working on?
Your Honor, I don't see a date. I just see it's Toner's A docket.
Okay, I've got 3 April. All right, the bond in each charge is $5,000. That's a total of $20,000. They're all coming back on April 3rd. If you can't bond out, the public defender will come see you at the jail. Thank you.
20,000. Thank you.
Arthur Conklin. Morning, Art. What's your date of birth?
Good morning. 4/27/75.
Art, the charge is operating an unregistered motor vehicle. Can you get the vehicle registered, Art?
I can, yeah.
And I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. Put a good tag on the car. Come back to court on the 24th of March. When you come back, bring the registration with you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Gary Courtney?
Yes, sir.
Morning, Gary. What's your date of birth?
4/8/68.
Gary, I have a warrant for you out of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It looks like for a probation violation, perhaps. You're entitled to an extradition hearing. As to that warrant, if you wish, the point of an extradition hearing would be to determine if you're the right guy and if the Commonwealth has a valid warrant for you. That process can take something like 60 days to complete. While you're waiting for that process to get completed, you'd wait right there in the Hernando County Jail. If we find out,
waived that.
all right? If you're
We
gonna
waived that at my sentencing, me and that,
Okay,
judge,
well,
we waived
if you'll
it.
sign a waiver now, Gary, then we'll give Kentucky 15 days to come get you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, hang on, they're gonna give you a waiver.
I got a question.
Yep, go ahead.
They've known about the waiver, and they've known about, my time was ran concurrent with Kentucky, and they've known for 8 months to come get me, and they haven't been here in 8 months.
Okay.
That hold was put on me in April.
Where were
last
you?
year, though. I was here.
In the county jail?
Yeah, the hold was put on me in April 23rd at 7:07.
You have some kind of a local charge?
Yes, but the judge ran it concurrent with Kentucky, so Kentucky could come get me, and they've had over 8 months to come get me.
Okay, well, the warrant got served on you yesterday, so you have 15 days
Okay.
from today.
All right, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Thank you.
Johnny Jackson?
How you are?
Morning, Johnny, what's your date of birth?
10-5-88.
Johnny charges battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'm hoping for a private attorney.
Okay, I'll point the public defender. If you find private counsel, you can sure do that. State any
Yes, sir.
history?
Yes, Judge, in 2020, he's got possession cocaine, PTI on that, reckless driving, and PTI on possession of marijuana. He's got a withhold on reckless driving in 2022, and he's got order history, Dwellis in 2013, marijuana, more Dwellis in possession of cocaine, fleeing to elude in 2008.
Okay. Johnny, got an address for you on Terrytown Drive. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
I've been there 5 months now. I think 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And does Ratanya live there too?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you working at all, Johnny?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
FCI, Midwest Construction.
Right. Set your bond at $500. Condition, though, is that you'll have no contact with Britannia while the charge is pending. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Also got to hold you till 4 o'clock, so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. You can go by Terrytown to pick up your stuff, but you got to contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 24th of March. Very important that you reach out to the PD when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thanks, Johnny.
Okay, you have a nice one.
Juan Morales. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
3881.
Juan, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 1 count of battery as a second or subsequent offense. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
24, he's got possession controlled substance and drug possession or use, resisting without violence. 2023, he's got battery, tampering with physical evidence, Dwellis, resisting without violence, possession paraphernalia, and another battery in 2023. 21, Dwellis. 2017, another Dwellis, second or subsequent. 2015, battery, another battery in 2015 as well, DV battery. No motor vehicle license 2015, another Dwellis 2011. Order history resisting and Dwellis beyond.
Juan, where you been staying lately?
Been showing my sister at 9131 Greenbrier.
Okay. Are you working at all?
Yes, sir, I am.
What are you doing?
Construction of the renovations.
I'll set your bond at $2,000. Condition is that you'll have no contact with Brian Hale. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Have you back in court on the 25th of March. Make sure you check in with the PD as soon as you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Morris. Morning, Richard. What's your date of birth?
3/23/1983.
Richard charges trespass. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll point to PD, State.
2023, he's got a withhold on possession of cocaine, drug possession or use, and resisting without violence. 23, he's got a trespass. 2021, felony littering. 2021, trespass on property. That's all we're seeing.
And Richard, you've been staying any place regularly, living outdoors, what's going on?
I was kind of staying with my girlfriend. I'm kind of homeless. I was homeless around here, but I live in like Shepard.
Okay, are you working at all?
Not really. I was getting a Social Security check. I was getting,
I'll set your bond
Social Security
at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on March 25th. If you get out, you should contact the public defender. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right? Thank you. Sherrod Robinson? Morning, Mr. Robinson. What's your date of birth?
10/15/1995.
Mr. Robinson, you got 3 charges today. I've got burglary of an occupied dwelling, possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Yes.
Appoint the public defender, Steve.
24, he's got possession of marijuana. 2019, he's got resisting without violence.
That's it.
That's all we're seeing, Your Honor.
Sherrod, I got an address for you on Frampton Avenue. Is that where you live?
Yes, see.
How long you been there?
Like, couple years now.
All right. You working at all?
Kind of landscape.
Okay. All right, on the burglary, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. On the meth, $2,500. On the paraphernalia, $1,000. That's a total of $13,500. I'll have you back in court on the 25th of March. If you get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. David Schultz. Morning, David. What's your date of birth?
11/29/63.
David, the first thing I have is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private
Yes,
counsel.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then state
Um,
and then there's a warrant for failing to appear in front of Judge Bell. I'll deal with that in a second. State any history.
Can I?
Hang on a second.
Can I?
Hang on a second.
Yep.
In 2024, he's got that an open violate rules of environmental protection. 2023, domestic battery by strangulation. 24, contempt of court. 2018, domestic violence by strangulation, obstructing justice through witness tampering.
David, where you been living lately?
I live at it's 3020 I'm Bernard. It's off Clark Street
Okay.
in Hudson.
Okay. Are you working at all?
I do volunteer work.
Okay. Is there something you needed to tell me?
Excuse me?
There's something you wanted to tell me?
Yes, Your Honor. I have scheduled tentative surgery for the 24th for a double inguinal hernia, and on 8/23, I had a motorcycle accident that left me with a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. The failures to appear weren't of my own doing. I was in the hospital at the time.
David, I'm utterly unconcerned about the FDA. It's a $200 ticket. On the FDA, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. On the driving charge, I'll set the bond at $500. Your total is $500. Both of these cases are coming back on the 24th of March, but if you contact the public defender because you've got surgery scheduled, you may not have to be here, okay?
Your Honor, if I may, my mother is right now currently in West Virginia, dying of cancer. She is my last family relative. Okay, she is the only one that I have left. Is there any way that you can see your way clear of, you said the $500 bond, because I have no way to get that.
Okay, you were at 3,000, now you're at 500. That's all I'm doing. Thank you. Nicholas Sereda. Morning, Nick. What's your date of birth?
April 30th, 1991.
Nick, the charge is grand theft auto. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
In 24, he's got a violation, domestic violence injunction. Looks like 3 of those in 24. And he's got in 2023 petty theft, grand theft, violation pretrial release condition in 2022, resisting without violence 22, grand theft auto in 21, battery in 2021, criminal mischief in 2022, resisting without violence 2020, grand theft auto in 2018, dwells in 2018, and burglary in 2014, fraudulent use of credit card and identity for theft in 2014, felon possession and ammunition in 2014. It's got a lot of older history too, including aggravated assault with deadly weapons. In 2012, state asked for a high bond.
Nick, where are you living lately?
Homeless.
Okay. Are you working at all?
Yeah, whenever I can.
Okay. Nothing regular?
Nothing consistent, no, sir.
And you're on misdemeanor probation right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Nick, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. The probation officer is here with me in the courtroom. It's a cinch. He's going to go back to his office this morning and file a warrant for the violation of probation. If you spend money getting out, you're going to get rearrested on that VOP, and the bond on that's going to be no bond. I'm not telling you can't bond out. I'm just telling you that's going to happen in the next few days here. This case is coming back on the 3rd of April. If you do bond out, go see the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Ronald Smith. Ron, what's your date of birth?
9/17/78.
Ron, I get 2 charges, driving on a suspended license and operating an unregistered motor vehicle. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Not quite sure yet. Did you appoint a public defender?
Sure can. Snake?
This judge in 2024, he's got duelist, another duelist in 24, that one's a withhold. Another duelist withhold in 2024, and a PTI and a petty theft in 2019.
All right, Ron, I've got an address for you on Thrasher Avenue. Is that where you live?
Correct.
How long you been there?
Almost a year.
Are you working at all?
I own a business, 2 employees.
Okay. I'll set your bond on the driver's license at $1,000, on the registration ROR, so your total is $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 25th of March. Contact the public defender if that's who you're going to stay with, okay?
The paperwork I got set up back in court on the 20th of March. Are you changing that?
The paperwork that I have says the 25th of March.
Okay.
Have a seat.
I'll show up both times just in case.
William Vivian?
Sam. Vivian.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Just take a step back for a moment.
There you go. What's your date of birth, sir?
Date of birth,
Yep.
12/21/35.
All right. So you've been charged with driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself, hire a private lawyer. Would you like the public defender?
What was that?
Do you want the public defender?
Do you want a public defender?
I'll give him the public defender.
State any history.
Only history we have is a withhold on reckless driving 2008.
William, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. I'll have you back in court on the 24th of March. Very good. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
Good, man.